Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we will be going over my 2021 ACC predictions for the upcoming college football season. So, while Notre Dame is an independent, meaning they don't play in a conference. I've decided to include them in this video because last year they played in the ACC, and it just makes the most sense to do them with the ACC. And I think they have a good chance of making the playoff or having a very strong season, so I wanted to make sure I did predictions for them. So they're going to be in this video. So the ACC is split into two divisions, the Atlantic Division and the Coastal Division. The Atlantic consists of Boston College, Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, NC State, Syracuse, and Wake Forest, whereas the Coastal Division consists of Duke, Georgia Tech, Miami, North Carolina, Pitt, Virginia, and Virginia Tech. So to start off with the Atlantic, I think obviously Clemson will win the Atlantic Division. Their quarterback is, I may say his name wrong, DJ Uyunglele. We already saw glimpses of him when Trevor Lawrence was out with COVID-19 last season. The offense has to replace Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence. However, they are getting wide receiver Justin Ross back after missing all of last season with a neck injury. And when he was healthy in 2019, he was a great weapon. Clemson opens their season September 4th against Georgia, which I feel is their toughest test of the season. And I think they will finish with a record of 13-0 ACC champion. Second in the Atlantic Division, I think, will be NC State, standing for North Carolina State. They open their season September 2nd against South Florida, or USF. So September 2nd is this coming Thursday. I think their record will be 8-4 with losses to Clemson, Miami, Florida State, and North Carolina. Third in the Atlantic Division, I think, will be Boston College. They're starting their season September 4th against Colgate. I predict them to have a record of 7-5 with losses to Clemson, NC State, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, and Florida State. Fourth in the Atlantic Division, I think, will be Florida State. So, quarterback is either Mackenzie Milton, a transfer from UCF, or the starter from last season, Jordan Travis. Now, Mackenzie Milton has a miracle story. So, in 2018, the very last game of the season against USF, Milton, playing for UCF at the time, suffered a devastating knee injury in 2018, and he hasn't played since. So, on the hit to his knee, he had a dislocated knee, nerve damage, and torn ligaments. He had to have emergency surgery to restore blood flow in his leg. One of his doctors compared the odds of playing again to a MLB rookie hitting a grand slam in his first at bat and then doing it three more times that game. So, really a miracle story for Mackenzie Milton. Florida State starts their season September 5th against Notre Dame. I predict Florida State to finish with a record of 6-6, with wins against Jacksonville State, Wake Forest, Syracuse, UMass, NC State, and Boston College. I predict them to lose to Notre Dame, Louisville, North Carolina, Clemson, Miami, and Florida. I predict Louisville to finish 5th in the Atlantic Division. They start their season September 6th against Ole Miss. I predict them to also finish with a 6-6 record, with wins against Eastern Kentucky, UCF, Wake Forest, Virginia, Syracuse, and Duke. Losses to Ole Miss, Florida State, Boston College, NC State, Clemson, and Kentucky. Sixth in the Atlantic Division, I think, will be Wake Forest. They start their season Friday, September 3rd against Old Dominion. I think they will finish the season with a 4-8 record, with wins against Old Dominion, Norfolk State, Syracuse, and Duke. Seventh and last in the Atlantic Division, I predict will be Syracuse. They start their season September 4th against Ohio, and I think they will have a 4-8 campaign with wins against Ohio, Rutgers, Albany, and Pitt. In the Coastal Division, I have North Carolina atop the division playing Clemson in the ACC championship game. North Carolina is led by Heisman contending quarterback Sam Howell. They did lose their top two running backs to the NFL draft. Javonte Williams, who was drafted by the Broncos, and Michael Carter, who was drafted by the Jets. They start their season this Thursday, September 2nd, versus Virginia Tech. I think they will finish the season 11-2, with losses to Notre Dame and Clemson. Second in the Coastal Division, I think, will be Miami. They start their season September 4th against the defending champion Alabama. I think they will have a 10-2 record, with losses to Alabama and North Carolina. Third in the division, I think, will be Virginia Tech. They start their season September 2nd against North Carolina. I predict Virginia Tech to finish with a 7-5 record, with losses to North Carolina, West Virginia, Notre Dame, Miami, and Virginia. Pitt starts their season September 4th against UMass. I predict Pitt to finish the season with a 6-6 record. Wins against UMass, Tennessee, Western Michigan, New Hampshire, Duke, and Syracuse. Losses to Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, and Virginia. Fifth in the Coastal Division, I think, will be Virginia. They kick off their season September 4th against William and Mary. I predict them to finish with a 5-7 record, with wins over William and Mary, Illinois, Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. Next, I think, will be Georgia Tech, finishing 6th in the Coastal Division. They start their season this Saturday, September 4th, against Northern Illinois. I think they will finish with a 4-8 record, with wins against Northern Illinois, Kennesaw State, Duke, and Pitt. And last in the Coastal Division, I think, will be Duke. They start their season September 4th against Charlotte. I think they will have a 3-9 record, with wins against Charlotte, North Carolina A&T, and Kansas. And now for my Notre Dame prediction. So, Wisconsin's transfer quarterback Jack Cohen was named the starter. He was injured last season, but in 2019 he threw for 2,727 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, so good numbers. I expect running back Kyron Williams to have another 1,000-yard rushing season, and show that he's one of the top running backs in the country. Notre Dame has a tough schedule this season. They start their season this Sunday, September 5th, against Florida State. They play Wisconsin and Cincinnati in back-to-back weeks. And then a few weeks later, they play USC and North Carolina in back-to-back weeks. I think Notre Dame finishes the season undefeated 12-0. Notre Dame is lucky because they get Cincinnati, North Carolina, and USC all at home, with Wisconsin being played at a neutral location. So I think Notre Dame has a very good chance to make the playoff, especially with my prediction of them going undefeated. If they do lose a game, I would think it's against Wisconsin. But I think they're going to be close games. I think Wisconsin, Cincinnati, and North Carolina will be decided within a touchdown or within 10 points. I think USC, Notre Dame will have a little bit of an easier time against. But I do think Notre Dame will still be undefeated at the end of the season. So, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you agree, disagree, and why. And I will see you tomorrow for sports news.